And finally, our keynote speaker tonight. You may have seen him when he's filled in guest hosting for Neil Cavuto or even that guy Glenn Beck on Fox. He was kind enough to not only come here and be our keynote speaker tonight, but come a day early for our fundraiser last night. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome fellow patriot Charles Payne.
I'm so proud and honored to be here because the Tea Parties have meant so much for this nation. I was telling people yesterday that Tea Parties came in just a nick of time. Well, you know the fight is not over. It's still really has just begun. Because the forces of government and media have been trying to destroy the Tea Parties from day one. You know, I wanted to ask, any of you guys see a couple of months ago when Marvel Comics put out this issue of Captain America called Two Americas? You got Captain America and his partner, the Falcon. He's a black superhero. And they're observing a Tea Party from a roof. And they're trying to infiltrate supposedly hate groups. So Captain America says to the Falcon, hey, let's go down and infiltrate them. The Falcon replies, I don't exactly see a black man from Harlem fitting in with a bunch of angry white folks. Well, let me tell you something, Richmond. This black man from Harlem has never felt more welcome in his life. This black man is here because I am from Harlem and I've witnessed firsthand the destruction, the destructive nature of too much reliance on government. I've seen what can do to an entire group of people. I've seen the innate gifts of God smothered from birth through the crumbs of government intervention. The government says, hey, you can't make it without us, but don't worry, we'll take care of you. People have been duped into a welfare trap. They should be angry. They actually should be out here, but instead the media wants to portray the Tea Party as the ones that are angry. Well, you know, I gotta tell you. Yeah, but guess what? When I look into the crowd, I see fear, I see anger, I see anxiety, I see longing. But you know what all of these feelings emanate from? One single emotion. Love. I see a crowd of people that love their fellow Americans with all their heart. I see a crowd of people that love their country with all their heart. Let me tell you something, Richard. If Captain America was here, he would be in the crowd with the shield held up high. I see thousands of individuals that are Captain Americas in their own right. I see people that have escaped the apathy of the masses. I see people who understand the need to sound the alarm. I see people that are saying no thanks to big and intrusive government. I see people that are saying, God bless me with a brain and a doubtful spirit, and no elected official's ever going to take that away. In New Jersey, I know what I'm talking about. So it bothers me so much when the message is sullied by the media. Because for me, the Tea Party is about basic freedoms to live the life the American way. And you know something? America is at the crossroads right now. The Tea Parties are also. There's been a movement in this country since the late 1800s that has been determined to change the way America is, to take it away from capitalism to communism. These anti-capitalists always found the greatest opportunities during times of economic turmoil. So amazingly, but not surprisingly, these sentiments are being stroked once again, as the nation is being told that this economic slump is only because of the shenanigans of a few people on Wall Street. Not to say that they weren't guilty, but someone needs to tell people that we all have to look in the mirror, figure out what we did wrong, and instead of pointing fingers, embrace each other and fix this thing. But the real deal is that there's always a different agenda. There's no doubt in my mind that this administration came in angling to nationalize banks. The uproar was too much, so now the focus is on regulations and draconian rules that, for the most part, will turn the White House into a de facto ruler of banks. The fact is, through forced regulations, establishment of czars, executive orders, the White House plans to control the majority of our economy. I sincerely believe the goal is not only redistribution of wealth, but a lower standard of living for all Americans. And I say, well, congratulations, Mr. President, Congress, we're on our way. You know, recently when Senator Jim Bunning stood alone, and to say to his colleagues, you know what? Let's make sure that we pay for extended unemployment benefits. He was vilified as a heartless human being. No one stood side by side with the man. No Republicans or Democrats stood side by side with him. It's a shame. Vote him up. Here's the irony of it all. He wasn't heartless, he was the exact opposite of heartless. If we borrow $10 billion today, it's going to cost what? 12 billion, 13 billion, 15 billion down the road?
Yes.
So the more important question is it really wise or compassionate to pile up all of this debt for our children? No. Is it compassionate to leave a burden for our children and grandchildren to the point where their innate gifts from God are smothered from birth because the nation has become a slave to interest payments that only leave crumbs of opportunities for them? In this future, our children and grandchildren will have no choice but to let the government care for them, from cradle to grave. You know, on Easter Sunday, I saw a man walking to church with his two sons. His clothes were clean, but they were very, very cheap. But his sons were dressed in nice suits. They had on nice leather shoes. And I'm watching this guy and I'm saying, this man put his family before himself. This is the America that I grew up in. This is the reason I thank God for the Tea Party movement. To preserve a way of life for all Americans. And I gotta tell you, when I look out into this crowd, I see Americans that love their children too much to leave them a nation saddled with debt, a feeling of inferiority, and indifference to God.